wondered why the European conquerors overpowered the Americas and defeated them so easily.
We better think about this.
Many months later.
If you want to find out the answer to that question, the story of Captain Pizarro and his 168 soldiers is a great story to get you on your way to finding that answer. The tale of Captain Pizarro is one of the most heroic military tales of all time. Captain Pizarro managed to defeat the 8,000 soldiers of the Inca army with only 168 conquistadors. When Captain Pizarro arrived on Incan homeland, the Inca were scared and afraid of them. Imagine if you had never seen a horse and men with a different colored skin walking on your territory. You would be afraid, just like the Inca. Some Inca even thought the horses were part of the conquistadors and that they were one big animal, like Greek centaurs. Once they got to the Incan capital, their priest, Captain Pizarro's priest, he gave them the Bible, but the Aztec emperor did not know how to read and so thought it was useless. He expected it to speak to him, but it did not, so he threw it on the ground, saying it was trash. The priest, offended, yelled to the Spaniards to attack the dogs who disrespected God. After that, Spaniards jumped out from all the buildings and fired their guns.
Domesticated by farmers gave them a cultural advantage against the Americas, harder to domesticate plants and animals. The European animals had many more uses other than meat, and they had horses to travel farther and faster.
Yes, indeed, you are correct. I have some theories concerning plants too. The Americas' staple crops were harder to domesticate and mass produce. Unlike European plants such as barley and wheat, they could be produced and domesticated much quicker and faster.
Yes, that was one key factor, but I recommend you take a look at your maps. Why did the Inca never trade with the nearby Maya or the Aztecs, who were culturally advanced and could help the Inca rise up to be as strong as the Spaniards, and maybe together they could have held their homeland.
3 weeks later.
I've been thinking about the map idea that other dude told us about, and I don't understand it one bit. But while I was thinking about it, I came up with another idea. Disease.
Yes, I was thinking about that too. And I realized when the Europeans came to the Americas, they brought with them diseases. This must have made conquering easier.
During the plague that the Europeans brought to the Americas, over 95% of indigenous people died, making takeover for the Spaniards easy.
You know, after all that that research we did, I still doubt the main bulk of the Native Americans' armies were plagued by sickness and should have held their homeland against the conquistadores.
I believe I have an answer to the feats of Captain Francisco Pizarro. It was the weapons of the conquistadors.
But what was so special about their weapons? They were against 80,000 Incas.
They used no ordinary weapons. They used a new type of sword, guns, and halberds, as well as the crossbows and knives.
And when those arquebuses came out, they sure were a blast. I get it, blast, gun pun.
Several bad puns later.
The Spaniards used revolutionary technology in their fight against the Incas. First, they used an arquebus, which was a new weapon. When fired, it made a loud gunshot that made the Inca afraid that the god of thunder was attacking them himself. Another was the rapier, a lighter version of the broadsword. With it, on top of a horse, you could chop through many enemy soldiers at once. One of the revolutionary weapons of the Inca was their longsword, also known as a rapier. With it, atop a horse, they could slash through the Inca that were running in clusters under them, and they could stab from both sides of the horse. So, for example, if this is my horse, and there were Incas scattered around, I could slash through the ones on the left, slash through the ones on the right, and stab from both sides, and the horse would run into anything in front of me. It's basically an impenetrable machine.
I figured it out!
Figured out what?
Why the Europeans were able to trade and flourish unlike the Americas.
Really? Oh, I have too. I was just waiting for you to figure it out.
You know, the answer is in the shape of the continents themselves. The reason trade was easy from Europe to Asia and not North America to South America is when traveling east and west, like Eurasia, you stay in a mostly constant climate and the time pattern stays the constant, unlike traveling north and south.
For example, if an Eskimo finds gold and wants to trade with a Native American living near Cape Horn, he'll have to travel through Arctic deserts, forests, plains, mountains, deserts, jungles, the Strait of Panama, more mountains, a desert, and finally you reach Cape Horn. All the while, the pattern of the sun is changing drastically.
We did it! We did it! We did it! Yay! Always team up! We did it!
You finally got it. I hope you're up for some more questions, because I've got a lot for you to tackle.
About that.
Fine.
Raise my flag, down my clothes. It's a revolution, I suppose.